coalition has threatened to go back to
We are aware that Kenya Kwanza has questioned where we will take the signatures and the legality of the exercise. We don't expect them to understand.
10 million signatures with a purpose. Raila Odinga says as Azimio plan fresh round of protests on Wednesday.
Unataka tuendelee tupange hii maneno ama mnataka watu watufanyishe maandamano?
We will not be moved. President William Ruto and Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua say ahead of Wednesday's mass protests. Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki appears at the Senate Ad Hoc Committee over the Shakahola probe that cost over 200 deaths. Kakamega County Referral Hospital counts losses. Thieves break in and steal boxes of medicine.
Through the morning rush and the buzz, find a voice you can trust, a voice of reason, a voice of direction, and a voice of hope.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Live. I'm Cynthia Nanjala.
And I'm Samia Dika. Rise and shine, folks. We hope you are ready for an energizing start to your day.
Absolutely. We are here to bring you the latest headlines and trending news stories from the world of politics,
Business and finance, health and lifestyle,
agriculture and sports.
So grab your coffee, sit back and get ready for a fantastic morning of engaging discussions and news segments.
Join us through our social media handles, #The Morning Live. This is Morning Live, exclusively on EBN TV.
One would ask, who is God of the Bible? Where did the world come from? Is man basically good? What is the hope of man after this life? Is Jesus God? What does the Bible really say about Christianity? How did God come to exist? Is the Bible really the Word of God? This and many other questions on religion need answers. Join teachers of the Word and theologians every Saturday from 8:30 a.m. on the program Bible Theology Show, where all your questions will be answered, only on EBN TV.
Show in East Africa. Tunakupea dance moto, tunakupea muziki from the latest songs.
Ndio masaa yetu.
Come every Saturday from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m.
Kuna shona kila kona, kama unareka sana bana ungekuja jana.
We have amazing guest artists.
Na usisahau kuna word. Na pia kuna amazing topics. Don't miss to watch this
on the Manifest Show, only on EBN TV.
Makofi.
Bwana Yesu asifiwe, watazamaji wa EBN. Kwa majina naitwa Pastor Julius Mutuko, na nataka kukaribisha kwa kipindi ambacho tutakuwa tukisikiliza neno la Mungu kila siku ya Ijumaa na Jumamosi kuanzia saa 3:30 jioni hadi saa 4:30 kila siku kwa lisali moja, na hivyo tukiangazia true worship ama kuabudu halisi, ambapo tukiangalia Biblia kitabu cha Yohana 4:23-24, Yesu alipokuwa akiongea na mwanamke Msamaria alimwambia wakati unakuja ambapo watu watamwabudu Baba katika roho na kweli, kwa maana Baba ni roho ama Mungu ni roho, na yuwatafuta watu kama hao ili wakamwabudu. So jo nami tukaweze kujua kuabudu halisi ni nini kwa siku hizo. Karibuni nyote in Jesus name. Asanteni.
Before Christ went, he told us, go out into the world, preach this gospel, and make disciples, because it is the heartbeat of God. And that's what EBN is all about. Hi, my name is Fred Njiri. Now, some of you may be wondering now, who in the world is this? While others may be saying, I've seen that guy before. True. I've been on your screens for the last almost 25 years. Well, there's more to life than just, work and stuff. And now I'm with Ecclesia Broadcasting Network. And one of the things that we are doing is ensuring that the message of the kingdom goes out, because that's the greatest commission that we've been given. Before Christ went, he told us, go out into the world, preach this gospel, and make disciples, because it is the heartbeat of God. And that's what EBN is all about. We want to make sure that as many people as possible can hear this gospel before Jesus comes. This gospel is so close to my heart because I know how important it is to live this world knowing Christ. I've lost 3 relatives. My sister, my kid's sister, was the first to go a long time ago. Then shortly afterwards, my brother, my older brother, also passed on. And I remember how the first death impacted our family. I mean, it was crazy. My dad basically never even recovered from the death of my sister. It was a long time ago. And then my brother, and then towards the end of last year, actually late last year on the 27th of December, I also lost my dad. It's not a gloom and doom story, because all of them, before they left this world, they came to the knowledge of our Lord Jesus Christ. And so there is that.
Azimio leader Raila Odinga has unveiled the Tumechoka Initiative Forum that will enable citizens to submit their signatures in an aim to collect more than 10 million signatures, whereby 1.2 million people have signed so far, so as to remove President William Ruto from office. Raila also affirmed that this initiative is similar to previous platforms which encouraged tax boycott, civil disobedience and defiance to compel the regime of President Ruto to repeal the Finance Act and take actions to lower the cost of living and address issues like bipartisan talks, the reconstitution of IEBC, the audit of 2022 elections, and an invasion of parties and members of parliament.
We are aware that Kenya Kwanza has questioned where we will take the signatures and the legality of the exercise. We don't expect them to understand. They don't.
We don't expect the Kenya Kwanza government to understand where we will take the 10 million signatures. These were the words of Azimio leader Raila Odinga during a press briefing after launching the Tumechoka initiative, which is a platform that will enable Kenyans to submit their signatures with an aim of removing President William Ruto from office due to the increasing cost of living.
The exercise, which is ongoing, is meant to express the people's displeasure with Ruto and the raft of punitive, unfair, and unjust taxes that he has decided to impose on the people without the people's consent. This is part of the campaign of resistance, the civil disobedience and citizens' actions that we have decided to pursue to force Ruto and his regime to respect and listen to the people.
According to the Azimio leader Raila Odinga, the people have decided to invoke Article 1 of the Constitution, which states that the sovereignty of the Constitution is vested in the people of Kenya, who can do it directly or through delegated authority who they have elected.
Both the legislature and the executive have ganged up against the people, and the people have been left on their own. In return, the people have decided, rightly, to gang up against the executive and the legislature.
He also stated that they will move to court to prosecute rogue officers and encouraged Kenyans to film and record rogue officers during the demonstrations.
In Nairobi, there was an attempt to assassinate the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, yours truly. We know they are getting it very wrong and missing the point that what Kenyans have started is a self-propelling movement. However, we intend to move to court and institute prosecution against individual officers who are involved in unconstitutional and illegal actions against protesters in the course of our activities.
Raila Odinga has confirmed that Wednesday's demonstrations will kick off at Kamukunji in Nairobi and all other places across the country, emphasizing that Kamukunji will not be confined to Nairobi. Instead, it will be anywhere and everywhere where people gather in the name of justice and well-being.
These are protected by the Constitution. By resorting to civil disobedience and protests, we can't be wrong unless the law itself is wrong. Kenyans must never be made to believe that they are wrong when they protest.
All eyes are now cast on Wednesday as Azimio leaders affirm they will be heading back to the streets. A fierce clash looms on Wednesday between police and supporters of the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition, which is set to stage anti-government protests across the country on Wednesday. In a statement issued just this evening, the Inspector General of Police, Japhet Kome, said leaders of the Azimio coalition led by Raila Odinga have not presented any official notification to the police on the planned demos, hence the gatherings will be considered illegal. The police have therefore warned to use all lawful means to disperse any gatherings that will take place on Wednesday. In the statement, and I quote, "In the interest of national security, the National Police Service wishes to inform the public that in the absence of notifications by planners of any demonstrations as a legal prerequisite to enable police provide adequate security to demonstrators and the public, police have no other option but to take necessary measures to disperse all illegal demonstrations," end of quote. Now, we want to take a look at the Constitution a bit. Azimio leaders have been talking about collecting signatures. They want to remove the president from office. So What does this mean? What does the Constitution say? Now, announcing the commencement of the signature drive at Kamukunji grounds in Nairobi on Friday, Raila Odinga quoted Article 1, clauses 1 and 2 of the Constitution. This comes even as the Azimio leader has launched signatures collection drive to oust President William Ruto. However, the Constitution says a president can only be ousted by way of the parliament and only on 2 grounds: 1, impeachment, and incapacity. In the case of impeachment, a legislator supported by at least a third of all MPs moves a motion for impeachment on 3 grounds, including gross violation of the provision of the Constitution or of any other law, serious reasons for believing that the president has committed a crime under national or international law, or for gross misconduct. In the case of incapacity, this will be on grounds of either mental or physical incapacity, hindering the head of state from performing their duties. If at least 2/3 of all members of the Senate vote to uphold any impeachment charge, the president shall cease to hold office. So now, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has vowed that the Kenya Kwanza government will not spare anyone who brings disorder to the country. Speaking on Tuesday, the DP said that the police are mandated to arrest offenders who disrupt peace and break the law. Opposition leader Raila Odinga and his supporters will take to the streets on Wednesday, which is tomorrow, to hold anti-President William Ruto protests. The protests are expected to take place in major parts of the country, as Raila has already dispatched key members of Azimio coalition to the demonstrations at the grassroots level.
Yote tuko pamoja. Watu wa Ruai tunaelewana? Mnataka tuendelee tupange hii maneno ama mnataka watu watufanyishe maandamano? Si tupange mambo ya maendeleo ya Kenya? Na ndio mimi nataka niwaulize kwa unyenyekevu ya kwamba hii mpango ya kubadilisha Kenya ndio inasumbua watu wengine sana. Hawa majamaa wa maandamano wamekasirika na mimi. Ati mimi nataka nichukue vijana wengi waende kazini, watakosa watu ya kufanya maandamano na kutupa mawe. Kwani kuna kijana amezaliwa Kenya hii kufanya maandamano na kutupa mawe? Mimi nataka niwaambie hawa watu wa maandamano, please give the Kenyan people and the Kenyan youth a break.
Wetu anafikiria hii watu wa chini. Yeye hakai pale Ikulu kukaa na bamwenyenye na watu wakubwa, na ndio anakuja mwenyewe mashinani. Na rais, tunataka kukupongeza. We want to encourage you to continue going around the country working for the ordinary Kenyans. Na rais, tunataka tuseme tukiwa hapa Embakasi, wale wa jamaa walikuwa na kupangia njama vile ambaye hutakuwa rais wa Kenya. Wakasema ati wako na system, wako na deep state, wako na polisi, wako na kila kitu, ati watakuzuia. Naye Mwenyezi Mungu hakuli ugari, wewe ndio rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya. Ni mzuri tueleze wa Kenya kwa sababu ni muhimu. Wale tu walikuwa wamepanga vile watamsimamisha huyu rais wetu asikuwe rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya, ndio wenye kupanga na kutoa pesa ya hii maandamano inaendelea ya kuchafua Jamhuri ya Kenya. Na sisi tungetaka tuwaambie, kama mlijaribu kumzuia rais, mkiwa na mamlaka, mkiwa na pesa, mkiwa na polisi, mkiwa na machief, Mungu akakataa, saa hii muko msituni, mtamsumbua huyu rais na njia gani?
Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki has said that security and administrative officers who served in Kilifi County as followers of Pastor Paul Mackenzie, starved to death in Shakahola, will face the law. Speaking to the Senate Ad Hoc Committee investigating Shakahola deaths, Kindiki said he also believes some officials in the judiciary will be held responsible. The Shakahola massacres shocked the country when followers of Emba told Paul Mackenzie starved to death to quote-unquote meet Jesus. More than 200 people of the church died.
On 19th of October, after 1 week, they set him free. They granted him a cash bill of 100,000 shillings. And Mr. Mackenzie was also asked, in the alternative, if he didn't have a cash bail of 100,000 shillings, to post a bond of 500,000 shillings. And other than that, he was not asked to behave well. He was asked to report to the OCS of Malindi, the officer commanding station Malindi, once a week. The court also ordered that that matter be heard on a priority basis because, and here I commend the court said this was a public interest matter. Now, Chair and members, one can pause there and ask a few questions, and some of this information I'm giving is answering to some of the other issues because they are related. As I've said, I commend twice in 6 months attempt to bring this man to justice and to prevent him from causing harm to society. He's a religious man, he's a preacher, but we must commend our authorities, those that made sure this fellow is taken to court, because there is some mortal fear we have built as a society, which is also damaging. The same way I've said, as a country, there's too much reverence on institutions to allow certain institutions to be so revered that they can veer off from the national interest. Might hurt us in future. Maybe not in this generation, it will hurt us because the state is formed by certain primordial and basic interests that make the state exist. Without the existence of those very basic.
The Deputy Governor of Siaya, William Oduol, has now urged the leaders of the county to agree to cooperate and work together for the benefit of the residents. Speaking to academics or academians a few days after avoiding the ex to be impeached from office, Oduol has also promised to cooperate with Governor James Erongo in his leadership. In the past, Oduol was on the verge of impeachment after a majority of the members of the county assemblies voted to oust him, but he was saved by the Senate.
The professionals from Siaya County, and like I said, it's a political group from Siaya County. Your stakeholders. If Siaya goes down, it goes down with you. And we owe it to our parents, our mothers, sisters, and fathers to try and work together to improve the lot of our people in Siaya County.
The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Authority, EACC, has summoned Kitui East Member of Parliament Nimrod Mbai, who was caught on camera slapping a KPLC engineer. Speaking at the commemoration of the African Anti-Corruption Day at the Nairobi University, the EACC Chief Executive Officer Twalib Mbarak also blamed the public for electing leaders with questionable integrity issues. Justice Aaron Ringera has also called on concerted efforts with the public in fight against corruption.
Uhuru, Kenya ipate uhuru, sijasikia kisa ya kuwa MP mbunge ameenda kupiga watu wa Kenya Power na kuwatoa mbio. Lakini sasa pale kuna yale maneno ambayo tumeongea pale katika hiki kikao leo kuwa wananchi lazima waangalie aina gani ya viongozi wanachagua. Kisa cha huyu mbunge ambaye mimi nakumbuka alikuwa ni kwa kizungu nasema he was a junior police officer before akifanyia governor. I'm not saying that junior police officers they are not disciplined, but ile kitu nataka kusema ni kuwa hao ndio viongozi mmechagua ambao sasa wameanza mpaka kutuambia watu wa Kenya Power. Labda kuna mwingine kesho kutakuwa na meter reader ataenda kwa compound yake atamtuambia na panga. Kwa hivyo lawama inarudi kwa wananchi.
All public officials should be subjected to periodic integrity vetting to determine their suitability to continue serving. A non-government official, regardless of their rank, should directly or indirectly do business with the government. That is key. One must choose to either remain in government or quit public service in favor of the honey of business.
Police have launched investigations after unknown thieves broke into the Kakamega Referral Hospital last night, making away with boxes of medicine. Confirming the incident, Kakamega Deputy Governor Ayub Savula issued a stern warning to doctors and staff who are stealing drugs from the hospital meant for the public.
We are involving DCI in investigation of those theft of drugs, not only this hospital, but even other hospitals where the governor had supplied the drugs. Some of the drugs were stolen and investigations are going on. The office was broken in last night. The CCTV camera was stolen and the CPU, the desktop machine, they went away with it. It contains the record of the hospital. And we have informed the police and the police are investigating the matter. We are putting in place a mechanism on how to fill the stocks because the medicine that are there are not enough to serve for the next 3 months. And the meeting we had today, actually we agreed on that the stocks that are getting depleted, let them give the budget now so that the procurement process can begin so that they are purchased within time before we deplete the stocks that are.
Nyumbani na mgonjwa akitegemea hospitali imsaidie, lakini kufika pale anatumwa vitu zenye haistahili kutumwa kwenda kununua kwa chemist. Mtu ukitumwa gloves na gloves ni ya serikali, unatumwa madawa serikali inaleta pale madawa KEMSA. Sasa sijui hiyo KEMSA kuna shimo mahali ambayo hiyo madawa inatokea pale chini, ikienda hatuwezi tukaelewa.
Hospitali yenyewe kwa ya general yenyewe haina security yoyote. Madawa zinakuja, malori zinaingia hapa, kama sisi tuko hapa watu wa boda boda tunaiona. Hata sisi wenyewe tunaenda kutoa madawa kwa hizo malori tukiweka hapo. Wiki mimi sasa nimekuwa na mtoto mgonjwa next week na last week nimekuwa na mtoto mgonjwa, nimeenda hapo kushughulikia huyo mtoto, imekuwa ngumu, ikabidi katoa hapo nikapeleka kwa hospitali nyingine inaitwa Nala. Nilihuzunika moyo yangu mimi sana. Na madawa inaingia hapa, tunatoa wanakukomboa hapo, tunaenda kuchukua madawa tukiweka kwa stock. Hiyo madawa madaktari wamejifunia yote hapa, wanachukua madawa kipepo kwa vikapu wakienda nazo.
The leadership of the Kenya Union Party has issued a notice to expel South Pokot Member of Parliament David Kosing for going against the agreement of the party that joined the government of Kenya Kwanza. The action comes after the member of parliament promised to start a campaign to collect signatures claiming to have the ambition to overthrow the Kenya Kwanza government that is in power.
Hajatable mambo yake sababu ya kutusi serikali kutumia jina ya chama chetu. Nimesikia sasa wiki jana ameanza sasa mambo ya kusema hakuna maana chama. Sasa mimi niko na maana, naweza kwenda kivyako. Enda uimbe kivyako kwa mambo ya Azimio na mambo ya signatures yao.
Ningependa kukuambia kuwa wewe mwenyewe unajua kuwa sisi KUP tumejoin Kenya Kwanza. Sijui ni kwa nini ndugu yangu bado huko kwa Azimio.
Wakaaji wa West Pokot waache kazi zao wafanye maandamano. Hatungetaka wakaaji wa West Pokot waanze kutengeneza signatures ambazo zinaenda kupotea na itarudisha gharama ya maisha irudi chini.
West Pokot iko na jina mzuri sana katika nchi ya Kenya. Viongozi wa West Pokot hakuna yule ameenda upinzani akafika level ambayo wewe unafika. Na sisi tunajua wewe unaomba kiti ya governor. Usiombe kiti ya governor na jina ya rais.
Yeye anaanza kupiga kelele, anasema sasa yeye ataongoza ukusanyaji wa sahihi katika kaunti ya West Pokot. Nafikiri atachukua tu saini yake peke yake. Kwa sababu sasa hakuna mwingine atatembea peke yake. Kwa sababu kila mtu hapa ni supporter na anaunga mkono serikali ya Kenya Kwanza.
Tunataka tuambie tu wa Kenya mahali popote ambapo wako kwamba hayo maneno ambao Mheshimiwa Kosing amesema ni yake mwenyewe.
Samburu Governor Lati Lelelit has reshuffled 2 CEC members and transferred 3 directors of the county a move he says will ensure efficient and productive governance in the county. The governor further noted that his allegiance is to his county residents who will question his performance come 2027.
Tuliweza kutransfer accountants wote, tuliweza kutransfer procurement officers wote, na leo tunaanza na directors. Sasa hii tuko na nafasi yenye itatoka ya directors, deputy directors, through the public service. Tutaweza kuannounce hizo nafasi na muweze kuapply, na tutaendelea next week na hiyo kingine mpaka tumalize, kwa sababu tunataka kupanga serikali watu wafanye kazi. That Moses Liluata is hereby reassigned from Department of County Roads and Public Works to the Department of Water, Environment, Natural Resources, Climate Change and Energy. Mwenyako kazi ni good in me, you must be answerable to the people of Samburu County. 2027 hata mimi nitaenda kusimama mbele ya Samburu niseme ni nini nafanya. Kwa hivyo sisi wote tujue ile kazi tunafanya ni wananchi. Hakuna kazi mtu mwingine.
Residents of Kachewa and Kambiju villages in Isiolo County have a reason to smile after the Institution of Engineers of Kenya in the northeastern branch connected piped water in the region to encourage crop farming. Engineer Gideon Nzioki lauded the community for their support in digging trenches and noted that the move will address the perennial food insecurity challenge.
Kwanza tumeshukuru sana washikadau ambaye wale wote walishikana wakakuja wakafanya hii miradi ikafaulu. Kufikia saa hii IEK hii ya Northeastern Branch wametusaidia sana, na tungeomba washikadau wengine pamoja na hawa wakishirikiana wakuje wasaidie hii area. Nimesikia kidogo chairman akisema maji ilikuwa ikakatika, ni kweli, na njaa imekuwa mingi, ni kweli. Lakini sasa kama tumepata hii maji, nadhani njaa itakuwa imefanya nini? Imekwisha. Nadhani kama vile hii pipe size imetufikia mpaka hapa, itatusaidia kuanzisha hiyo miradi. Na pia ningependa kurudisha vote of thanks kwa wale wote washikadau ambaye walikuja leo tukashinda na hapa leo, na nawashukuru sana.
Pia hii maji itapunguza ile madhara inaletwa na magonjwa juu ya ukosefu wa maji. Watu sasa watapata maji safi ya kukunywa, maji ya kutumia nyumbani na pia kwa ukulima wao.
Yangu ni kushukuru sana kwa pale wameweza kutufikisha, na sana pia nirudishie community shukran, kwa sababu mbeleni ilikuwa ni ngumu hata kupata msaada hapa kwa sababu community haikuwa inataka kufanya kazi pamoja, lakini nashukuru Mungu saa hii wameshikana, na ile kushikana wameshikana within no period. Sasa tumepata support from SDI Voka ya kuweka ile tank through World Development Committee, na sasa tumepata 650 meters ya connection ya pipe.
Well, that is where we wrap it up for our bulletin tonight. Thank you for your valuable company. I hope you're up to date with the latest making headlines across the country. Of course, quite an interesting day tomorrow, Wednesday, as we'll be expecting the Azimio leaders to take the protests back to the streets. Aside from that, we'll be having a conversation on fighting drugs and substance addiction in the morning from 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. The NACADA agency released a detailed report sometime in May 2023 of just the drug usage across the country. Get this, even a 6-year-old uses drugs in this nation. So what do we need to do to fight that kind of addiction? What are some of the things that we need to be looking out for as people close to other people? So that is the conversation that we'll be having tomorrow at 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. Do join me then, and we'll be getting your feedback as well and just asking our panel that will be here tomorrow. But for now, I'm Cynthia Nanjala. Have yourselves a fantastic night.